All right, NYC Geek Society. Jon here with Axel.
Yep.
Here we're talking about the Last of Us 2 panel that happened at E3
With
2018.
Neil Druckmann, Anthony Newman, and Kurt Margenau. They're all co-directors of The Last of Us. I looked it up on Wikipedia. It's true.
Wikipedia. With Lucy from IGN's Australia team hosting. She's one of my favorite video game journalists, so I was really excited about that too. And, to just start off, they were kind of talking about the new gameplay that they showed. Basically, game is about tension, and you could squeeze between things now and under things.
The game is indeed centered around Ellie. I feel like they might have confirmed that already in the other conference.
The first trailer.
Yeah, but if you were a little I don't know if you were curious that that deviated at all from that. No, it didn't. Ellie is the center of the game.
We still don't know if you're going to be playing as anybody else.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's going to be
they probably aren't going to say anything. Kind of like how they didn't say anything about Ellie being playable in the Last of Us.
Right, but also Neil Druckmann did confirm that there's two timelines going on, because in the last trailer, a lot of people were speculating that, especially because she wasn't named, she was the only character not named, that the woman that was being hung was actually Ellie's mother. And so I'm assuming that, maybe part of the game you're playing is Ellie's mother and the other part you're playing is Ellie. But he hasn't confirmed that, but he did confirm that there's two timelines going on. So yeah, with combat, you kind of could see it in the demo, and he confirmed that you can dodge in this game. Also, there's a jump button. So
there's a jump button because
cool.
Ellie is more aerodynamic and lighter.
Now, you made an observation that it said in the background with the screenshot.
Yeah, so there are some screenshots in the background behind the co-directors and the interviewer. And it said captured on PS4 Pro, which I don't know.
Because it
might mean it's on the PS4 for sure, or maybe this is just a video that was captured on the PS4 Pro.
Because we were speculating that maybe this was a PlayStation 5 game. I still think that it could possibly come out for PS5, depending on when that comes out. But that would be to imply more, though, that it will be on the PS4. But I don't know. Because basically I've still yet to see a PS4 game, even on the Pro, that looks that good. Yeah. So it's still hard to believe, but again, if anyone can do it, it's probably Naughty Dog.
My guess is that they're going to pull a Persona 5, and it's going to come out right at the end of the PS3 generation, or even Persona 4.
Well, that's what happened to The Last of Us, the first one.
Yeah.
That it came out at the end of PS3.
But it didn't quite come out simultaneously. I'm saying
a year later.
Yeah, but I'm saying it comes out simultaneously on PS4 and 5.
Who knows? So we'll see, but
speculation.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting when Lucy was saying that the first Last of Us felt very survival horror, and they referred to it themselves as survival action. I find that kind of interesting, but I still think of it as kind of a horror game in my opinion. But that was an interesting little tidbit. They said it might be the biggest game they've ever made, even though they said with the first game they kept saying that it's kind of wide linear, and they still think that it plays with that kind of motif, that kind of dialogue, that it's not an open world game, but they said that they're stretching the wide part a little bit more.
But ultimately, we're going in the same direction, like we talked about in the last podcast. You should watch that, not the podcast reaction video.
Right,
watch that.
They also said it was interesting. They said in most video games you feel that there's exploration areas, and then you're like, oh, okay, now this is combat area. Now there's an exploration area. But they said they want to make the player feel like that you're never completely safe. That combat could happen at any time.
Yeah, and they mentioned when when Ellie's going under that car in the demo, you kind of feel like that's your safe space. But it isn't anymore.
Yeah.
Things that would stereotypically in video games be like a safe space to enter, just it's no longer the case in Last of Us Part 2.
And then they were asked about the progression in AI, and they talked about kind of in the first game. I mean, this is a lot of video games where like one person sees you and like somehow telepathically everybody is aware of you. Where he said he wanted to like branch it out a little bit more.
It echoes across enemies.
So they have like this whistling system where the enemies will actually be whistling at each other and it'll kind of expand.
Yeah, but
awareness.
even with that, it sort of still sounds the same. Okay, then now they're just echoing to each other and it's gonna be a slight delay, but ultimately the same thing happens.
Right, but I feel like that's more natural.
I guess
it gives you. I feel like it changes your strategy and gives you a little bit of more.
It still feels like kind of
strategizing.
It feels like sort of a facade, though.
Really, I don't know. I was kind of impressed by that.
I don't know. We'll see when the actual game comes out. They also mentioned, in terms of new technology, that the enemies know each other by name, and that's a new technology that they developed specifically for this game.
That's really interesting.
I guess it's using some sort of machine learning within the game. Eventually, enemies that are closer to each other eventually get like a little more familiar with each other personality-wise. I'm kind of curious.
Stuff. Yeah, I was trying to take notes, but yeah. I definitely.
I'm like the technology nerd in here. Like, man, oh my god, the
story.
AI. You're like story man.
They said that even though we haven't seen infected in this gameplay demo, that he said that it's still there, and they actually came up with new like classes or enemy types. So that's cool to know, I guess. And they talked about crafting. You can craft new things like arrow types, etc.
They said like all the systems in the game are improved.
And location. We're in Jackson 4 years later. Kind of where The Last of Us ended, where Joel and Ellie went back to like where Tommy's base was. So we're still there, at least in this demo. The Seraphites is the name of that religious group that they presented in the last trailer.
And they don't want you to about these Seraphites. I guess I just wanted to expand on it a little bit more based on the conference. Although they look like they're the bad guys in the demo, they did mention like there is a more human side to them. I guess there's a way to empathize with these enemies. I mean, already from the demo, you kind of felt like, oh, Ellie, why are you killing these people? They don't just feel like NPCs anymore. So I'm curious to see what type of story that they have, and I don't know how we can relate to those characters, even though they're apparently religious fanatics.
When asked like what's Ellie's life like in Jackson, they said actually it's just kind of normal, where you have parties like we see in the trailer, and relationships, and she seems to be having a relatively normal life where they just kind of go on patrol and make sure the perimeter's okay, but nothing really happens until I guess as he said like bad shit goes down, So
then, was it Shannon Woodward and?
Well, no. So like then, they were asked like, "What about Joel? Like, where is he?"
Yeah.
And kind of like made a joke like, "Oh, when they're talking about his old man, maybe it's another paternal figure." And he's like, "No, guys, I'm kidding. It's Joel. Don't worry about it." They just want to like add the suspense before they reveal him. But
I was happy that he didn't end up being a troll. About
it. And so basically they said again like, there's kind of like a trio in Ellie's life. It's Deena and Jesse are her friends. Jesse's kind of the head of this patrol team, and apparently Deena was his girlfriend, but now it looks like according to this trailer / gameplay demo that Deena might end up being Ellie's girlfriend too. I don't know. Maybe she's just everyone's girlfriend. But that's kind of interesting. Love triangle maybe going on. And then Shannon Woodward, Ashley Johnson, came out to join the panel. And so, Shannon Woodward plays Deena. She's also Elsie from Westworld, if in case you didn't know. And she seemed extremely excited to be
there. She seemed ecstatic to be in the game. And I don't know, she ended up getting into this game by like being at some sort of social event.
Well, no. Basically, she said that one of the writers, I forgot about this too. I should have looked up the name. But one of the writers for the first season of Westworld, what became the writer for The Last of Us. And so she was talking to her like, oh, what are you, writing there, like Last of Us 2 or something? She's like, we're not supposed to talk about it. I was like, wait, really? And she got really excited because she said like Last of Us was like her favorite game, and she could even play like a small part, and that's how she kind of got the role. Or got the audition for the role.
Yeah, she ended up having to audition even though they kind of had like a hookup going on.
Right.
And she said, like, I'm going to give it my best performance, even though it might only be 20 minutes of my life.
Yeah.
Because you could go through a lot of auditions as an actor and just end up being on these high-profile shows, but only end up, I don't know, just doing the audition. So she gave it her best shot, and she ended up on The Last of Us Part 2.
So, and also Ashley Johnson was there, and we're both kind of in love with her. And, of course, she plays Ellie.
No.
What's interesting is they said, like, she's probably been in and out of this role for, like, 8 years now, since starting The Last of Us 1.
Yeah, they're even trying to make the new Ellie look like her.
Yeah, they said that she's kind of 40% Ashley and, like, 60% this, custom model for Ellie, and they combined the two.
It was so funny when they asked her, like, oh, what do you think of the new Ellie model? And Ashley was kind of just, like, looking at the screen. She's like, she's just so beautiful. But I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the other 60% that the animators did.
What was really funny was that picture that they had of, like, the kissing scene between her and Deena.
Oh, my God.
In the mocap suits. And they were talking about, like, how awkward it was, like, to get the facial animation.
It was powerful, but awkward.
Yeah. To get the facial animations, they had to kiss, like, the air next to each other. And they said because of the suits, they kept getting stuck on each other's Velcro.
Because they have, like, all these little, I don't know,
dots
on their face. So I guess they did do the kissing.
Well, they got some more facial with the cameras there, but they had to be kiss next to each other.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just to get the faces, otherwise the dots would get covered up, So that was kind of funny for them to talk about, Yeah, and so...
They asked about the release date.
Yeah, right at the end.
And
he said that we've learned our lesson in not giving the release dates until we're very close to release. So we could say that we're not very close to release, right?
Nope.
So what that means exactly, we don't know. But I guess it ain't coming out like next year or anything.
Damn it.
But, and to close it out, what I thought was very sweet is, Lucy Orion, she's like an out person. She's a lesbian. And she thanked them on behalf of the LGBT community that
putting it on the main stage.
Yeah, put this on the main stage, and I got really touched. She got kind of choked up even talking about it. And you were the one that pointed out, like it's also
Pride and it's Pride Month.
Yeah, so I didn't even think about that. So that's really great. And we both have LGBT friends, and I'm very happy that Naughty Dog, or that the video game industry is progressive and actually, including real people, not just this idea of like what
not
people
just
are supposed to be. This
straight
cisgender
white males like us.
Yeah. I'm tired of freaking seeing myself in video games. I want to see I don't mind playing as a woman.
Let's see some new characters.
Else. Yeah. So, all right, so we're going to close it out. We'll be back to talk about some more panels later on. gonna take a little bit of a break because we're kind of exhausted. We're going like
I need
nonstop.
a coffee.
So stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your clickers, and NYC Geek out.
Geek out.